Hi, this is Frankie with 96.7 KCAL Rocks with Lita Ford.
Hi.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. We are it is the NAMM weekend 2011 here in Anaheim, California, and I've got the pleasure of interviewing Lita Ford. And how are you doing? What are you doing here at NAMM this weekend?
I'm here to promote Dean Markley's Helix Strings. I'm here to promote Seymour Duncan and to promote DBZ Guitars.
Do you have a signature guitar with them, or are you building up to that? What are you doing with them?
Well, I don't have a signature guitar yet, but we're building up to it. It's a new company, so we're building up to it.
Yeah, you need a signature guitar, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell me what current projects you're working on right now.
Well, we're writing songs for a new CD. We're hoping to tour this summer. I want to do a book. I want to do a film. But I don't want to do a documentary. I want it to be a little bit different than what the Runaways are doing. The other girls in the Runaways have done documentaries, and I would like for it to be based on a true story, but, a real movie. Little girl with a dream, Mm-hmm. So, but first you got to do the book. So we're working on the book. We're going to be working on the book this year.
When you say we, do you have a ghostwriter?
I do have a ghostwriter. Yes.
So how far back do you go with that? Have you kept journals all these years or diaries?
I never did. I'm not one to write things down. I just have to go off of my memory, and I have to go off of what other people tell me. Do
you remember that time?
Yeah, right. Well, I remember a lot of it. There was only one night I think I don't remember. I blacked out. But but I
remember blacking out.
I remember blacking out. I remember not remembering. It was like, oh my God. But no, I came from the punk era, with the Sex Pistols and Blondie and the Ramones and the Runaways, and we all came from that era. But I think that's a good way to start off. There was so much to tell about that era, where everybody used to spit on you, and they used to do that because they liked you. If you didn't get spit on, that meant you sucked.
Wow.
So, yeah, you come off stage covered in loogies, your guitar neck, literally. So I learned to spit back.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being Italian and burping at the table is a compliment to the chef.
Exactly, and I think the Japanese do that as well. Yeah.
So you have an album that you're working on. What are you writing about these days?
Well, I'm going through a divorce right now, and it's a really ugly divorce. So the album is based around people and their problems, divorce, whether it's divorce or whether it's a sickness or whether they lost a job. The album's called The Healing, and it's all based around those sort of things, sickness, cancer, loss, divorce. It's not going to be a depressing album, but so far the songs are very upbeat. But
you can talk about that stuff with and not enthusiasm, but encouragement.
It is written with encouragement, yeah, and I think a lot of people will be able to relate.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of that kind of going around these days, and I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, there is.
Now tell me about first of all, when do you expect the album to come
out? I'm hoping in the spring.
And then a tour in support of it.
Yeah.
What are you doing with Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp?
Well, in Atlanta, in the Bahamas at the Atlantis, I'm going to be a counselor, aren't I? No. What am I doing at Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp?
You'll be a celebrity mentor.
Oh, the celebrity mentor, where you walk in and critique the band.
Are you hoping you get a female guitar player?
It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I like doing that kind of thing. I enjoy it. I enjoy producing and doing that sort of thing. So.
Well, you undoubtedly have been an inspiration to many, many, many females coming up in the ranks of the music business, whether it be guitar or drums or whatever part of the industry. who did you go to for inspiration? Because there wasn't a lot of women in metal back then.
No, there really wasn't. I went to, I loved Ritchie Blackmore. I loved Jimi Hendrix. I loved Jimmy Page. I think they were my idols back then, you know. And I would sit and I would pick everything apart, and I would catch every little mistake. There were mistakes back then. And I would listen to Hendrix and how he would make noise mean something. He would take anything that came out of that amplifier and he would channel it so it turned into music, and it wasn't just noise, you know, like feedback or hiss or any kind of weird thing. He really made it work. And when I first learned to play, I sort of challenged myself on guitar, and I plugged straight into the amp. I didn't use any effects. I didn't use any kind of thing that made it easy for me to play. I wanted to learn how to play the hard way. And I figured if I could do that, if I could pick up the meanest, biggest, beefiest guitar I could find and plug it straight into a 100-watt amp and make it sound good, then I could start adding effects. And to this day, I only use a delay pedal and a wah-wah. I don't need nothing else.
Well, that kind of helps me segue into my next question. You saying you didn't need any special effects, you wanted to just go right into it. I think that might have something to do with your success in this male-dominated industry.
Could do. It could do.
How was that for you, getting into this business with it being rock and roll being mainly a guy thing?
Yeah, well, it pretty much still is, but I don't know. It was a challenge because at first people would look at the guy in my band and they would say, "Oh, he's playing great guitar," and then I would say, "Well, wait a minute, that's me playing the guitar. Why is he getting the credit?" So I put together a 3-piece band. A la Jimi Hendrix, where I was the only person playing guitar, and I had to learn how to play guitar and sing lead vocals at the same time, which is a whole different animal in itself. So I was the only guitar player in the band. There was nobody else to look at. It was a 3-piece band, bass, drums, and guitar, and I had to sing lead vocals.
So they had to give you credit.
They had to give me credit. And once I got that credit, and once it was known that that was me playing guitar, then I was able to add another guitar player, and I still got looked at.
And this is pre-Runaways?
This is after the Runaways. Okay. Yep.
But when you were starting with the Runaways, were you, obviously I would think an all-girl band, it was very difficult for you guys to even be taken seriously.
Well, yeah, it was. It was hard to be taken seriously, but then again, I mean, Cherie Currie was dressed in a corset, and I had hot pants that went halfway up my ass. So, I mean, how serious is that, you know?
Well, it definitely got you noticed.
I think the Runaways were very before their time, and we had fun. I mean, we played off of the fact that, you know, sex sells, and females are something that you know, are looked towards for things like, say, for instance, the Whitesnake, Tawny Katane, dancing on the hood of that car. You know, I mean, that made that song, and that made that album sell, and that video sell. Every video has a beautiful girl in it. You know, so I mean, even the Motley Crue CDs, they got the girls dancing, singing, and swinging on the poles, and you know, you got to have that. And
well, see, for your videos, you had you.
So exactly. I didn't need to hire anybody else. So,
all these bands that came after you, they really kind of looked to you guys as the pioneers in it. L7 and the Go-Go's and bands like that. How do you feel about that, knowing that you kind of broke the glass ceiling?
Oh, it's just good to be the queen. It's good to be the queen. That's all I can say.
Metal. You like that title?
I do. I do. Yes. I think we did pave the way for a lot of people. Not just women, but men as well. You know, I get a lot of comments on men that are saying, you know, if it wasn't for you, Lita, we wouldn't be playing guitar. Not just from women. So it's a universal thing, and it's fantastic.
Well, there's lots of women that look to you. You look to men for influences.
Yeah.
It's nice to know it goes both ways.
Yeah, definitely.
So if advice to girls that are coming up in this business, knowing now what you didn't know then, what would you tell them?
Wow. What would I tell them? Just do what's in your heart. Follow your heart. Don't listen to what other people have to say. I mean, listen to them, but, do what you think is right,
Go with your gut.
Go with your gut, go with your heart, and do what's in your heart.
And what would you like to do that you haven't done already?
A whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. I mean, I got to jam with Ronnie Montrose the other night, and that was something that just popped up out of the blue. And we played Rock Candy and Bad Motor Scooter and Good Rockin' Tonight. And to me, that was something that was awesome because I grew up on those songs, and I love Sammy Hagar. He was a lead singer in that band at the time. So that was a real honor for me.
He's a fun guy, too.
Yeah, of course. Well, who wouldn't be after all that tequila?
That's funny. So what does the future hold for you? Like, I know you said you have an album coming out, but even years from now, would you maybe like to teach or be involved with kids learning music or anything like that?
That would be nice. That would be nice. I don't know. I just take my life a day at a time. I really don't know. Maybe I'll be a producer. I enjoy it. I'm good. I have the patience to teach children how to play. I taught my son James. He's 13, and he's amazing. He's amazing on guitar. He's way better than I was at his age. So, I've got a little rocker in the makings.
And you teach him?
I did. Yeah, I taught him a lot of stuff, but he's on his own now. He's on his own. Sometimes he'll say, "Mom, what chord is this? Can you pick this chord out and show me how to play it?" So, but not very often.
That must be interesting for him having Lita Ford as his mother.
I'm just mom to him.
Yeah, just mom to him. But when he looks back, I mean, he must look back at your videos and listen to your albums and things like that. Does he do that?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He's proud.
Does he ever give you any, like, "Mom, why'd you do that?" Or, "Mom, that's great. Good job."
Yeah, sometimes. But you know what? They're born with it. And my 9-year-old will walk on stage in front of 40,000 people and grab the microphone and go, "What's up? Are you guys ready to rock?" It's my 9-year-old, and the audience goes nuts. He gets more of a cheer than I do.
That is so funny.
He's got his mohawk done up, all different colors, and he walks out there. "Hey, you guys rock! Let me see your hands in the air!" He's got the charisma.
So
and
I think he's destined for the stage.
Absolutely.
So you said you were talking about doing a book and a movie. Would you be in this movie?
No.
No acting aspirations?
No. I don't know. Maybe towards the end of the movie, I would be in it. But at the beginning, I've got to have a little girl, and then I need a teenager, and then I need somebody in their 20s. But towards the end of the book, yeah, I could probably be in it. I mean, the end of the movie.
That would be a great story, I think.
Evolve into me.
Well, when I first walked in here, I heard Ozzy playing on the speakers, and I immediately, because I'm going to see you, went to that song, Closed My Eyes Forever. Right. When you listen to the radio and you hear a friend, do you immediately flash back to a memory or a time or a party or a concert or backstage or anything like that?
Oh, I do. But a lot of these songs they're part of the soundtrack of your life, and more than a party or more than hanging out with a friend, I kind of go back to days when I was younger, and I would sit in the park with my dog and drink Boone's Farm wine, and I would go back to those days, like an old Elton John song like Candle in the Wind or something like that.
A little more sentimental.
Yeah. And I remember sitting in my bedroom when I was a little girl, listening to The Who and listening to the Monkees, and remember how cute Davy Jones was, and that kind of stuff. It's more of when I was a littler girl, because when I was 17, I joined the Runaways, and we went on tour. The first tour we did was 3 months on the road with the Ramones, so that was a whole different time in my life. It wasn't about being...
That's young to do something like that. That's big for someone so young.
Yeah, it almost robs you of your teenager childhood, you know. But then again, I think teenagers go wild anyway in their own way, and that was my way of going wild, was touring with the Ramones.
Well, you probably definitely got it out of your system.
No.
Hence the movie and the book.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I'll get it out of my system when I'm 6 feet under.
Well, we look forward to hearing a lot more from you. I know it's been a while since we've heard from you.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to hearing some new material and what you're writing about, and just seeing more of you. So thank you for spending the time with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.